This is Odin's Wolf Survival in the subterranean caverns of Wolfhaven. It's kind of rainy and nasty out at the moment. What we have here is the Victorinox Venture Pro. And I've already done a review on basically what it is and what I thought. This is the sheath. We'll dispose of that because that's not the bit we're going to do today. This is the part that has a lot of people all up in arms. That you can lock it in either way, but the problem is, you can see it moves around, you can hear it. Usually, from my experience so far, when it's on your belt it really doesn't rattle, but the possibility does exist. And Felix Emler and a few other guys had some fixes. Well, I ran across the fix for quite by accident. This is my Hella biking, and you can tell it's been kind of abused and used. But with the way this sheath design is, never lend your knife to anybody or even let them touch it anymore. People are just have no skills or training. Somebody shoved the tip out through it, you know, trying to be a man and slamming the sheath home. People are idiots. So I fixed that on this sheath so it didn't continue to blow it out. And I figure with this, it's going to be the same sort of thing. The only thing that's different is we've got the two holes to make it a blow tube for fires. So we're going to make sure we can get the bamboo sticks in. I figured it was pretty close to the right dimensions. Okay, we got those fitted. Important to know, as you can see, I think you can see all the way. Hopefully there's holes through there. It's made for when you're starting a fire to blow air into the fire, get your face a little bit away from the smoke and stuff. If that isn't part of something you think you'll use, you can omit this step. But what I did to fix this sheath is I got some of this stuff. And you can get it, where did I get this? This was, I think I found this at Dollar General, believe it or not. And they have, this is the only sort that I could get at the time. They've got several different sorts. It's an epoxy 2-component. You just peel off what you want in a section and mix it up. And as you cut it off, it's mixed proportionally. So if you only want a little bit, cut off a little bit. The other thing you'll need to do is, okay, now that I've remembered it, the other thing we need is spray silicone. So I don't feel like making a huge mess all over the place. This will soak up some of it. And you'll need a stick to push it into the bottom. But what we're going to do is spray silicone the knife. You can use vegetable oil, WD-40, anything that provides a coating so it won't stick to it. You don't want the epoxy to stick to it. And if you're planning on using the knife for food prep, you can clean that off later or use a vegetable oil. We'll take a little bit of this, unroll it, and just work it together. And since this is a 2-component, you want it folded over, mixed together quite well. And I really don't like the smell of epoxy, but there it is. You can use a little more, a little less, depending on how much. All it needs to do is grab the tip of the knife, and you're going to have to put, unless you want it sitting in there a certain way all the time, which would be usually for most right-handers sitting like that, you'll have to decide what you want. I don't mind it. I want that thing in there both ways. Then once you get it set up, I'm using just a cheap chopstick. You could use any stick that'll reach down into there. Push that bad boy all the way down in there. Seat that epoxy. And as you're doing it, if you look down, make sure to drag this up and down the edges so you can get it all down there. And you can see, if you're getting it in there pretty good, once you get it in, it'll stick to the sides. Take your knife, get it going down in there, set it in. Push it in till it clicks. And that's good. You pushed out some epoxy. You can see. And get it going in the other way. If you want it where you can seat it both ways. Push it in. And you'll feel it grab. Pull it back out. And might as well clean off most of it now if you can. Shouldn't be difficult later, but it's a lot easier before it dries. I'm going to spray it down again, especially near the tip. We're going to knock that off and let it sit and dry. And if you want your blow tube holes open, work that up in there. And once you get the tubes open, you can drill those out with a small fine drill bit if you plug them up again when you shove your knife tip back in there. But this will make it a lot easier for the drill bit to find its way up. Okay, this is how I normally am going to carry it, set in this manner. And this will, once you got it set in there, we're going to go back. We're going to do it again, just to make sure okay. Now we'll be able to run a drill up there if we have to. And we're going to leave this sit. And as you can already tell, it's nice and solid. There's absolutely no movement. In this knife, this will hold it nice and stable. The locks engage at the top. Get it set in where you want it, and then leave it. We'll come back in a little while and see what we got. Okay, this is the Venture after it's dried. I popped it in and out a few times as it was drying. And one thing I did note, you will want to fill these up with Vaseline or something along that line really heavy, because they tended to grab in that 2-component epoxy in there. I got it out, but it made it a little more sticky. And as you can see, it pops in. There's absolutely no rattle. Retains it nicely. Pops in the other way. Retains it nicely. It'll loosen up just a little bit, and as you can see, the holes are open, so you can still use it as a blow tube either way. But there is absolutely no rattle. It's nice and tight. Water will still drain out. You can use it as it was designed. Snaps right back in, and it maybe added just a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of weight. I consider it completely negligible for the amount that went in there, because I think it's only maybe up to here. And all I did was grab the tip, permanent, nice permanent fix, no heating up, you know, whatever. Works for me. I kind of like this little knife. And now it's nice and tight, so there won't be any complaints about rattling, no nothing. So there it is. There's the Venture, a simple, easy fix for the sheath for the people that were complaining about it. Thank you for watching. This is Odin's Wolf Survival. Like, subscribe, and share. It helps me out with the YouTube. And have a glorious day.